her sing like she's Shaka Khan. With a cock so strong it turns her box to an octagon. I'm past insane. Everybody's dealt with by my rap the same. Catching more cases than conveyor belts at a baggage claim.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Shy Goody coming to you week 5 live. You know what this is. This is the tape. All right, after 4 weeks, it took the Bears to get on the win column. They finally got their first notch behind the leg Robbie Gould against the Oakland Raiders. So it was good to see that team get on the board for the first time this year on the lakefront. Hopefully they can keep that momentum going because they're going to need it. They're going up to Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City where they're definitely going to need that momentum because it's one of the tough places to play in the league. So let's check out this week 5 matchup as the Bears take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Offense. Offensively, when you look at Kansas City, quarterback position, Mr. Alex Smith. He's a game manager by definition. He is a mobile quarterback by trade when you talk about him being elusive in the pocket. So when you look at him the outside of position and see what he has to throw to, it's Mr. Jeremy Maclin, newly acquired wide receiver from the Philadelphia Eagles last year. Now this guy is averaging over 14 yards per catch, so you're talking about a big play guy. If you're talking about Mr. Yak, this is a guy you're going to have to tackle and wrap up early because he could definitely make you look foolish. Now the real situation is dynamic plays comes from the tight end position, Mr. Travis Kelce. When you look at him, you think of Rob Gronkowski. So this is a guy that they're going to definitely target. And he's pretty much a safety valve for Alex Smith in the passing game, especially on third down. But the buck stops with Mr. Andy Reid's workhorse, and that's Mr. Jamal Charles, one of the best all-purpose backs in the game. So when you talk about Jamal Charles, this guy is over 4.5 yards per carry as well as a threat and screen game. So because that guy can take it from 4 to 100 real quick. So you got to look at a team like this. With this type of matchup, you got to hope that the Bears can keep this guy on the wraps because they definitely look to try to take advantage of matchups on one-on-ones early in the game. As for the Bears, last week, we got a shout out from Mr. Jay Cutler. He surprised everybody and played last week on a bad hamstring. Now, we didn't expect it, but he definitely came up and played productive. Now, he threw an INT last week, but he also threw 2 touchdowns. Now, this was the most productive that we saw Mr. Marquise Wilson as well as Mr. Eddie Royal in the passing game. Now, Will Montgomery's lost for the year due to a broken fibula, but Mr. Matt Slauson stepped in admirably. I expect the 2 rookies coming up, Mr. Grasu, as well as the guy that they brought in off the street, Mr. Barry Jones out of Bama, to come in and be serviceable for that offensive line. Each week you've seen Kyle Long got a little bit progressively better each week, and I expect it to continue. Now, Mr. Workhorse Matt Forte is also a dual-purpose running back, one of the best in the fucking business, still averaging 4.5 yards per carry. You'd love to see Matt get a little bit more explosive in the run game, as long as running the season is 27 yards. So you got to look at Adam Gase being able to dial up a little bit more run game. And this might be the week that you see them go hard play action off of it, so watch it. So when you take things into consideration, the Bears on the road versus the home team Chiefs, advantage offense, Bears. Now defense. When you look at the defensive side of the ball, when you look at talent, it's not close. The Chiefs are one of the most talented defensive units in football, led by that front 7 and linebacking core, Mr. Derek Johnson, Tamba Ali, Justin Houston. 3 nasty fuckers coming at your quarterback. And if you can't get those guys blocked up early and often, it's going to be a long day at the fucking yard. Now, the Chiefs have struggled to stop the run overall in these first 4 weeks. So I expect the Bears to draw a heavy fucking dose of run game. And they won a lot of max protection last week for the Bears running the ball. So the Chiefs are definitely going to have 8 in the box. And that 8th man is Mr. Eric Berry, an all-pro safety that's been really productive for the Chiefs when he's been on the field. And when you look at the corner and the back end, the Chiefs have been really bad in the pass game. They're allowing the 31st more pass game in the league. When you're talking about teams challenging them vertically, they've given them a lot of big plays. Now, they do have some athletic corners led by the rookie corner, Mr. Jason Peters out of Washington. So you got to really scratch your head to figure out what's going on there. And it's a product of it is if they can't stop the run, you can't rush the passer. So that's exposed that defensive backfield. Now for the Bears, they're trending upward. That front 7 led by Parnell McPhee is each week he's getting nastier and nastier. He's playing violent like he said he would. Now Jarvis Jenkins has definitely been a surprise because he's outshined Mr. Ego Ferguson so far after the first 4 weeks. Now Jay Ratliff didn't play last week, but he's expected to suit up. And if he does, that's definitely going to be a boost to that front 7, especially in the run game. Eddie Goldman played admirably in his spot, so that's definitely going to add to the depth. Now, it's going to come down to Mr. Shea McClellan being able to line up and match up with Mr. Travis Kelce over the middle because Alex Smith's going to be targeting Shea, and Mr. 50's going to have to step up, or it's going to be a long fucking day at the yard. Antrell Rolle got hurt. Speaking of Rolle, got rolled up on his ankle. Don't think he's going to play this week. But last week, The guy that stepped up was Mr. Tracy Porter on the outside. He did an admirable job against 7 targets against Amari Cooper and only giving up 1. And yeah, it was a touchdown, but it was a perfect pass from David Carr. All things in consideration, you got to look at that Bears defense, and they're trending upward. But talent prevails on the road. So you got to go advantage defense. Chiefs. Special teams. When you look at special teams for the Kansas City Chiefs, led by former special teams coach Dave Tope for the Bears, special teams with Kansas City is really good. Their kicker last week had 7 fucking kicks. It's insane. But you look at their return game as well. It's really nasty. When you talk about Niles Davis in return game on the kickoff, as well as DeAnthony Thomas, a.k.a. the Mamba, is also another dynamic returner. So it's definitely going to be another test for the special teams coverage unit, who played admirably well last week for the Bears against Oakland. Now, Oakland didn't have the dynamic plays that the Chiefs do, so you got to say that they're going to be tested. Now, Pat O'Donnell's coming back from his injury, and this guy was the best punter in the league. Speaking of best in the league, you know how I feel about Robbie Gould. He's absolutely money. So what the fuck you mean? Special teams advantage? Bears. Intangibles. Bears on the road, coming off a good win. The Chiefs have lost 3 in a row, and they've looked really bad at it. Now, when you talk about a must-win for the Chiefs early in the season, this is the pinnacle of it. Andy Reid has struggled so far as the offensive side of the ball, and that's not really what you normally historically think when you think of an Andy Reid team. However, when you look at what they've done at home, they've been a lot more consistent. So you got to say, if they don't turn over the ball, they'll have a great chance to be able to score against this Bears team, especially in the secondary without Antrel Rolle. Now, they don't like to go vertical, and they don't like to test teams deep. But considering they only average 5 to 6 yards per play, you got to look at Andy Reid opening it up and trying to spread it out. Now, Jason Avant doesn't really scare you at all on the outside, so Jeremy Maclin is the guy that they're going to be looking to showcase this week. Him and Travis Kelce will be their big play guys, and their bread and butter is going to be Jamal Charles all game. So whoever wins time of possession is likely going to win this game. And if you look at what the Bears have done on third down, Cutler right now is the number 1 quarterback in the league on third down, over 68%. So if they can keep themselves on the field and keep that defense under bay, you're going to be looking at a real slugfest right now in Kansas City. So it's all going to come down to me if Alshon Jeffrey plays. The Bears have just been lacking that one big play guy. And as of yet, they haven't had it. And out of 4 games, they've won 1. So you got to go over percentages here. Bears on the road, it's going to be a tough game. Do they have a shot? Absolutely. But all things considered, I'm going to go with the outcome as the outcome. Bears, 18. Chiefs, 23. Last week I was wrong. If I'm wrong again, I wouldn't be surprised. However, I'm not going to put my money on it. This has been Shy Goody from the tape. I appreciate the support. You know where you can find me this Sunday, live in Game Thread on Shot on Sports. Also, holler at your boy on Twitter because I'm talking that shit. Remember, if you pop that motherfucking grill open, look a shot for your boy. My pop's birthday is this weekend, so once again, if y'all want to fall through, you know we're going to be pouring it up. As well, shout out to the boys next for the production help, my dude. You the man. Happy belated. This has been your boy Shy Goody from the tape. I'll at you next week.
Hey man, what a time to be alive. You and yours versus me and mine. Are we talking teams? Are we talking teams? Are you switching sides? Wanna come with me?